Today we're diving deep into a topic that, while hidden beneath our feet, has massive implications for our world: groundwater overextraction and the dramatic consequence known as land subsidence. If you're a budding scientist, an engaged student, or just someone curious about the planet beneath us, you're in the right place. Grab your notebooks, because we're about to uncover some seriously important science. So, let's start with the basics. What exactly is groundwater? Think of it as the water stored beneath the Earth's surface in cracks and spaces in soil, sand, and rock. It's not just some static pool. It's a vital part of the global water cycle, feeding rivers, lakes, and wetlands, and it's a critical resource for drinking water, agriculture, and industry worldwide. We tap into this hidden reservoir through wells, bringing it to the surface for countless uses. For many regions, groundwater is literally the lifeblood of their economy and population. Without it, entire cities and vast farmlands wouldn't exist as we know them. Now, what happens when we take too much? This is where the term overextraction comes in. It is exactly what it sounds like, drawing groundwater out faster than it can be naturally replenished. Imagine a bank account where you're constantly withdrawing money but rarely depositing. Eventually, you'll hit zero. With groundwater, it's not just about running out of water. It triggers a cascade of environmental problems, and one of the most visually striking and costly is land subsidence. Land subsidence is the sinking or settling of the ground surface. It's a natural geological process in some areas, but when it's linked to human activity, particularly groundwater pumping, it can accelerate dramatically and cause significant damage. Let me explain the mechanism. When you have an aquifer, that's the underground layer of water-bearing permeable rock. The water fills the pore spaces between soil particles and sediment grains. This water actually helps support the weight of the overlying land. It's like a sponge full of water holding its shape. But when we pump out too much water, especially from aquifers made of fine-grained sediments like clays and silts, those pore spaces become empty. Without the water to support them, the soil particles compact under the weight of the land above. The ground literally loses its structural integrity and begins to compress and sink. And here's the crucial part. This compaction is often irreversible. Once those layers compact, even if the aquifer is refilled, the land surface typically won't rebound to its original elevation. It's a permanent change. Where is this happening globally? Unfortunately, it's a widespread issue. Some of the most notable examples include regions in the United States like California's Central Valley, where intense agricultural irrigation has led to alarming rates of subsidence. Historically, parts of the valley have sunk by as much as 28 feet. Mexico City is another classic example. Built on ancient lake beds, it relies heavily on groundwater, and some areas are sinking by over a foot per year, causing massive infrastructure damage. Across Asia, from Jakarta to Beijing, and even parts of Europe, coastal cities and agricultural hubs are experiencing similar problems. It's a global challenge that demands our attention. So, what are the real-world impacts of this sinking land? The consequences are far-reaching and often devastating. First, we have infrastructure damage. Roads buckle, pipelines crack, buildings tilt, and foundations crumble. This requires costly repairs and can even render some structures unsafe. Think about the economic toll this takes on communities and governments. Second, it exacerbates flood risk, especially in coastal and low-lying areas. As the land sinks, these regions become more vulnerable to storm surges, high tides, and sea level rise. What might have been a minor flood before can become a catastrophic event, displacing communities and causing immense economic loss. The battle against rising sea levels is already challenging. Land subsidence adds another layer of complexity. Third, subsidence can damage vital water management infrastructure. Levees and canals, built to manage water flow, can be compromised as the land beneath them shifts, leading to failures and inefficient water distribution. Imagine trying to irrigate crops effectively when your canals are constantly being distorted. Fourth, it can permanently reduce aquifer storage capacity. Remember how I mentioned the compaction is often irreversible? Even if we try to recharge the aquifer, the amount of water it can hold in the future will be less because those sediment layers are now permanently squished. This means less water available for future generations, worsening water scarcity issues. And finally, there's an increased risk of saltwater intrusion. In coastal areas, as freshwater aquifers are depleted and the land sinks, saltwater from the ocean can more easily intrude into the freshwater supply, contaminating it and making it unsuitable for drinking or irrigation. This can render vital water sources unusable for long periods. So what can we do? The good news is that scientists, engineers, and policymakers are working on solutions, and we, as informed citizens, have a role to play. One key strategy is improved water management. This includes developing more efficient irrigation techniques, like drip irrigation instead of flood irrigation, to reduce agricultural water demand. It also means promoting water conservation in homes and industries. Every drop saved helps. Another approach is diversifying water sources. Relying solely on groundwater is often unsustainable. Investing in surface water storage, wastewater recycling, and even desalination, where appropriate and environmentally sound, can lessen the pressure on aquifers. We need a portfolio approach to water supply. Artificial recharge is also gaining traction. This involves deliberately diverting surface water, perhaps during rainy seasons or from treated wastewater, into infiltration basins or injection wells to replenish aquifers. It's about actively putting water back into the ground to counteract our extractions. And importantly, we need better monitoring and regulation. Satellite technology, like INSAR, allows scientists to precisely measure land elevation changes over vast areas, helping us identify problem zones. Governments need to implement and enforce policies that cap groundwater extraction rates, incentivize sustainable practices, and manage water rights effectively. It's a complex legal and social challenge, but vital for long-term sustainability. For those of you considering careers in environmental science, hydrology, geology, or civil engineering, these are the kinds of critical issues you'll be addressing. Understanding the interconnectedness of our natural systems and the impact of human activities is more important than ever. We need innovative thinkers and dedicated problem solvers to tackle these challenges head-on. The story of groundwater overextraction and land subsidence is a powerful reminder that our actions on the surface have profound, often unseen consequences beneath our feet. It's a call to think long-term about our precious natural resources and to strive for a balance between human needs and environmental sustainability. By understanding the science, supporting responsible policies, and adopting sustainable practices, we can protect our land, our water, and our future. Thank you so much for joining me today on this deep dive into groundwater and subsidence. I hope you found this discussion insightful and thought-provoking. If you learned something new, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content exploring the amazing science of our world. Your support helps us continue to bring these important topics to light. See you in the next video.